Sometimes nothing is technically wrong. Your life works on paper, you're functioning, you're capable. You might even be successful, and yet something feels off. Not dramatic, not explosive, just a quiet sense of misalignment, a little bit of resistance, heaviness, a restlessness you can't explain. A heaviness that doesn't match the circumstances. And most people can tell themselves just to ignore that feeling. They say, I should be grateful, I shouldn't complain, I just need to push through, I'm being lazy. So they override that internal feedback they get. They stay busy, they distract themselves, they double down on responsibility, but the feeling doesn't go away because it's not a problem, it's a signal. And when life feels wrong, especially without being broken, it's usually because you're moving in a direction that no longer matches who you're becoming. This isn't about purpose in a dramatic sense, it's about direction. Your system knows when you're aligned with where you're going, and it knows when you're not. When direction is aligned, effort feels cleaner, momentum increases with less force, decisions feel obvious instead of heavy. And when direction is off, when alignment is off, everything costs more. Even good things feel draining, even success feels hollow, and most interpret that signal. They think that something is wrong with them, or they think that they're unmotivated or ungrateful, maybe burned out, right? But burnout is most often burnout is really just prolonged, consistent misalignment. Staying loyal to a direction that made sense once, but no longer fits where you are, that will lead you to burnout. And you can feel this in your body before you understand it, a sense of pressure when you think about the future, a lack of excitement where there used to be energy, a subtle dread that shows up when you imagine continuing on the same path. That's not weakness, that's information. And misalignment doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like stability that no longer feels alive. And most people die slowly there. Nothing is bad enough to leave. Nothing is right enough to stay. So people just hover, they tolerate, they shrink their desire, they settle, and they normalize something that feels quietly wrong because they don't know how to change it. But here's the part that matters. When you're in that place, you don't need advice, you don't need motivation, and you don't need to blow up your life. You need clarity. You need to see which internal frame is actually running you right now, to see that's what an identity session is designed to do. It's not coaching. It's not a goal-setting session, because anybody could do that. And it's not about fixing anything, because most coaching tries to improve the person inside the frame. This session identifies the frame itself. Inside Jason Drees Coaching, these sessions are done with one of our top coaches. My top coach, Brodie, his role is not to push you forward. He's not a sales rep. This is literally a session with one of the top coaches on my team. And his role is to help you see what you're currently organized around. Most people try to solve the symptoms. This session identifies structure. So here's what I invite you to consider. If something in your life feels off, but you can't quite name why, if it feels heavier than it should, if you're successful on paper but disconnected inside, I invite you to book an identity session. Not because you need help, but because clarity changes everything. That session isn't with a sales rep. It's one of the top coaches on my team. Like literally, you won't leave with a plan. You won't leave hyped up. You'll leave seeing something you couldn't see before. And that's why it matters so much. And once you see it, the next step becomes obvious. The link to book that session is below in this video, in the description. And if this isn't the right time, don't force it. Orientation can't be rushed. But if you feel something settle in your chest while listening, not excitement, not fear, recognition, that's your signal to go ahead and take the next step.